The Mamluks were originally soldiers from Central Asia and the Caucasus who were recruited by Salahuddin in order to fight in his army against the Crusaders. However, after the collapse of Salahuddin's empire, these same soldiers would go on to become the rulers of the Muslim world and would later establish their own empire known as the Mamluk Sultanate, which ruled over Egypt, Syria, and Hijaz. Because of their experience in fighting, the Mamluks managed to protect the Muslim world against Crusaders and Mongols, and they would also prove to be effective rulers and administrators. The Mamluks rose to prominence during the reign of Saifuddin Qutuz, who defeated the Mongols and prevented them from conquering Egypt. Because Saifuddin Qutuz was aware of the ferocity and the immense size of the approaching Mongol army, he tried to increase the size of the defending Mamluk army. Sultan Qutuz employed the scholar known as Izzuddin Abdus Salam, who declared a fatwa of jihad against the Mongols and called on people to volunteer alongside the Mamluk army. Therefore, thousands of citizens joined the fight against the Mongols, who were eventually defeated at the Battle of Ain Jalut in the year 1260. After this, the Mamluks realized the influence of scholars on society and began investing in scholars and scientists. The Mamluk Empire produced many great scholars, such as the historian known as Shamsuddin al-Dhahabi, who wrote a 50-volume book on Islamic history, the mathematician known as Zakaria Ansari, who wrote books on algebra, the scientist known as Al-Qalashandi, who conducted research on minerals, and the geographer known as Shamsuddin al-Ansari al-Dimashqi, who traveled to Southeast Asia and wrote books about the landscapes of the region. The Mamluk Sultanate reached its peak during the reign of Sultan Zahir Baybars, who invested in education and infrastructure. He constructed great buildings such as the Zahiriya school in Damascus. Throughout their reign, the Mamluks built many other institutions and beautiful pieces of architecture, such as the Al-Muayyid Hospital in Cairo, the Abu Abbas al-Mursi Mosque in Alexandria, the Khalid bin Walid Mosque in Damascus, and the Green Dome on the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. Sultan Zahir Baybars was also highly popular because of his defense of the Mamluk Sultanate against the Christian Crusaders. However, Sultan Zahir Baybars eventually became corrupt and began to face opposition. This was due to his policies such as seizing private land in Syria after it had been reconquered from the Crusaders. These policies were met with strong opposition from scholars and preachers such as Imam al-Nawawi. The Mamluk Empire declined further after the death of Sultan Zahir Baybars in 1277. For example, during the reign of Sultan Nasir bin Qalawun, government repression increased, and influential scholars such as Ibn Taymiyyah, who spoke out against corruption, were imprisoned. The Mamluk Sultanate declined further during the reign of Sultan Barkuk, who ruled until 1399. Ibn Khaldun, who worked as a judge in the Mamluk Sultanate during this period, strongly criticized the corruption of the Mamluk government and predicted the downfall of the Mamluk Sultanate. Sultan Barkuk was succeeded by Sultan Nasir al-Faraj, who reigned until 1405. During this period, the Mamluk Sultanate was plagued by disease and famine, and was invaded by the brutal conqueror known as Taimur, who invaded and destroyed the city of Damascus. The Mamluk Sultanate continued to weaken, and Mamluk rulers continued to increase in corruption and despotism, until the Mamluk dynasty eventually collapsed in the year 1517, after it was conquered by the Ottomans.